June 28, 2025, the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas was absolutely electric for UFC 317, the centerpiece of this year's International Fight Week. Fans from all over the world packed the venue, and you could honestly feel the anticipation in the air, from the very first fight on the preliminary card, all the way to the monumental main event. This was one of those moments we'll be talking about for years. The stage was set for a truly special evening. The lightweight title, one of the most prestigious and difficult belts to win in all of combat sports, was vacant and up for grabs. Two of the best fighters on the planet, Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira, were set to battle for that coveted gold. In the co-main event, the flyweight king, Alexander Pantoja, looked to continue his dominant run against a very dangerous challenger in Kai Kara-France. Every fight on the main card had significant implications for its respective division, meaning every single athlete who stepped into that octagon had everything to gain and everything to lose. It's that kind of pressure that forges legends. From the moment the doors opened, you just knew this wasn't, just another fight night. International Fight Week always brings a different level of excitement, a different energy. It's a celebration of the sport, and UFC 317 was the perfect culmination of that celebration. The fighters seemed to feed off that energy, ready to put on a show for the global audience watching. For new fans, this was the perfect introduction to the drama, skill, and raw emotion of the UFC. For longtime followers of the sport, it was a reminder of why we fell in love with it in the first place, watching history unfold right before our very eyes. As the night progressed, each fight built upon the last, raising the stakes and the excitement level. We saw incredible displays of heart, technique, and power. There were lightning-fast finishes that had the crowd on its feet, and grueling battles that went the distance, showcasing the immense conditioning and determination of these world-class athletes. By the time the main event fighters began their walk to the octagon, the atmosphere was simply unbelievable. Everyone in the arena and watching at home knew they were about to witness something that would change the landscape of the UFC forever. Unshakable, and he carried that belief with him into the cage. From the opening bell, the tension was palpable. Oliveira came forward looking to establish his range with kicks, while Topuria stayed calm and patient, looking for his opening. He moved with the precision of a hunter, cutting off the cage and forcing Oliveira to react to his movements. Topuria's defense was sharp, slipping punches and avoiding the early grappling attempts from the Brazilian jiu-jitsu master. You could see his strategy unfolding perfectly. He was loading up that powerful right hand, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash it. He wasn't rushing, he was simply waiting for the one mistake, the one opening he knew would come. Then, it happened. At just 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the very first round, the moment Topuria had predicted came to pass. As Oliveira stepped in, Topuria connected with a devastating right hand that sent the former champion stumbling backward. Before Oliveira could even think about recovering, Topuria followed up with a clean left hook that connected flush, sending Oliveira crashing to the canvas, unconscious. The referee immediately jumped in to stop the fight. The arena erupted. Ilia Topuria had done exactly what he said he would do. He was the new, undisputed UFC lightweight champion in one of the most shocking and impressive performances imaginable. This victory was more than just a title win, it was a history-making moment. With this knockout, Ilia Topuria became only the 10th fighter in UFC history to win championships in 2 different weight classes, having previously held the featherweight belt. He extended his perfect professional record to 17-0 and cemented his status as one of the most dangerous pound-for-pound fighters on the planet. To win his 3rd straight fight by knocking out a legendary former champion is an incredible feat. Topuria didn't just win the belt, he snatched it with a statement that echoed throughout the entire MMA world. A new king was crowned. Instantly created a new and intense rivalry. Pimblett, who was in the arena, was brought into the octagon for a face-to-face showdown that immediately got heated. The two fighters exchanged words before Topuria shoved Pimblett, forcing security and officials to step in. The scene was chaotic and intense. Topuria, still riding the high of his historic victory, looked ready to fight again right then and there. He made it clear that he wanted Pimblett next, shouting threats and promising to do the same thing to him that he had just done to Oliveira. Pimblett, never one to back down, fired back with his own words, creating a moment of pure promotional gold. However, the presence of Topuria's family during the altercation drew some criticism. with UFC President Dana White later stating that it was not the right time or place for that kind of confrontation, especially with a child nearby. This post-fight drama immediately sets up a number of interesting possibilities for the new lightweight champion. While Dana White seemed to dismiss the idea of a Topuria versus Pimblett fight happening next, the seeds have been planted for a massive future showdown. The bad blood is real, and a fight between the two European stars would be a huge event, especially if it were to take place in a stadium in Spain or the United Kingdom. It's a classic clash of styles and personalities that fans would be eager to see. The confrontation even drew comments from Conor McGregor, who seemed to side with Topuria in the burgeoning rivalry. For now, Topuria can celebrate his incredible achievement. He is on top of the world, an undefeated two-division champion with a target on his back. Every contender in the lightweight division will be calling for a shot at his title. Fighters like Islam Makhachev, Arman Tsarukyan, and Justin Gaethje are all viable opponents who would present unique challenges for the new king. Whether his next fight is against a top contender or the striking would be enough to dethrone the champion. Pantoja, however, came into the fight with a clear and effective game plan. Take the fight to the mat where he is most dangerous, and systematically break his opponent down. From the very beginning, he executed that plan to perfection. Pantoja wasted no time in closing the distance and initiating the grappling exchanges. Throughout the first 2 rounds, he relentlessly pursued takedowns. And while Kara France defended well initially, the champion's pressure was just too much. Pantoja secured multiple takedowns and began to accumulate a significant amount of control time. On the ground, he was constantly working, transitioning between positions and threatening with submissions. He was a step ahead of Kara France in every scramble, showcasing a level of jiu-jitsu that is truly elite. Kara France showed incredible toughness, but the champion was draining his energy with every passing minute on the ground. The end came in the 3rd round. Pantoja was able to secure another takedown, and this time, he quickly transitioned to Kara France's back. Once he was in that dominant position, the outcome felt inevitable. Pantoja skillfully locked in his arms under the chin for a rear naked choke. Kara France fought the hands bravely, but the champion's squeeze was too tight and too precise. At 1 minute and 55 seconds of the 3rd round, Kara France was forced to tap out. Alexander Pantoja had successfully defended his title once again, proving that he is the undisputed king of the 125-pound division through his suffocating grappling. This victory further solidified Pantoja's legacy as one of the greatest flyweights in UFC history. It was his 4th consecutive title defense, a remarkable accomplishment in such a competitive division. With this submission win, he also set a new record for the most submission victories in the history of the UFC flyweight division with a total of 7. His performance was a testament to his skill, his fight IQ, and his relentless determination. Pantoja has now defeated undefeated rising star Peyton Talbot, taking on Felipe Lima. This was a highly competitive fight that went all 3 rounds. Talbot showcased his crisp striking and composure, while Lima proved to be a tough and durable opponent. In the end, Talbot's cleaner and more effective offense earned him the victory on the scorecards, with all 3 judges scoring the contest in his favor. It was a valuable experience for the young prospect, who kept his perfect record intact. Next up was a critical fight in the lightweight division between 2 seasoned veterans, Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. This was a tactical battle from start to finish, with both fighters having their moments. Dariush relied on his powerful striking and strong grappling control, while Moicano looked for opportunities on the feet and in scrambles. The fight was incredibly close and went to the judges for a decision. After 3 hard-fought rounds, Beneil Dariush was awarded the unanimous decision victory. It was a huge win for Dariush, getting him back in the win column and keeping him relevant in the Shark Tank, that is the 155-pound division. The fight before the co-main event featured another key matchup in the flyweight division, as the surging Joshua Van took on former title challenger Brandon Royval. This was a massive test for Van, and he passed with flying colors. Over 3 rounds, Van displayed incredible speed, technical striking, and solid takedown defense against a very unorthodox and dangerous opponent. He managed the distance well and consistently outlanded Royval throughout the fight. The judges were impressed with his performance, awarding Joshua Van a clear unanimous decision victory. This win catapults him into the top tier of the flyweight rankings and puts him on a path toward a future title shot. Each of these main card fights played a crucial role in shaping their respective divisions. Peyton Talbot showed that he is a name to watch at bantamweight. a division filled with killers. Beneil Dariush proved that he is still a major threat to anyone at lightweight, reminding everyone of his top-tier skills. And Joshua Van announced his arrival as a legitimate title contender at 125 pounds, perhaps setting up a...
Hello my YouTube family. First of all, thank you so much for watching UFC 370 result and very shocking result today. Really guys, very shocking result. This video full details provide, and so please wait for in the video, support and subscribe this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching guys, and support, and let's go. Thank you so much.
Of the night. Just 26 seconds into the first round of his fight against Haider Amil, Delgado landed a perfectly timed flying knee that resulted in a sensational knockout. It was a viral moment that had the entire arena buzzing and showed the kind of explosive action that can happen at any time in the UFC. The quick finishes didn't stop there. In the lightweight division, Terrence McKinney added another first-round submission to his impressive resume. Known for his all-or-nothing style, McKinney needed only 55 seconds to lock in a tight guillotine choke and force Vyacheslav Borshev to tap out. It was a classic McKinney performance, reminding everyone of his dangerous submission game. In another explosive finish, middleweight Gregory Rodriguez earned a brutal knockout victory over veteran Jack Hermanson, stopping him with a powerful left hook late in the first round. These performances on the prelims ensured that the fighters on the main card had a tough act to follow. UFC 317 will be remembered as a landmark event for the sport. Ilia Topuria's ascent to two-division champion status puts him in an elite class of fighters and begins a new, exciting era at 155 pounds. The potential super fight with Paddy Pimblett looms large, promising a massive promotional spectacle down the road. Meanwhile, Alexander Pantoja's continued dominance over the flyweight division solidifies his legacy as an all-time great. With challengers like Joshua Van now emerging, his reign will continue to be tested. The event perfectly balanced historic championship moments with the rise of new contenders and thrilling, fast-paced action from top to bottom. Looking ahead, the landscape of several divisions has been dramatically altered. Topuria has a list of dangerous contenders waiting for their shot at his new belt. Pantoja has a new challenger in Joshua Van on the horizon. The results from the main card and prelims will lead to exciting new matchups over the coming months. UFC 317 was more... What an incredible night of fights we just witnessed. The world of mixed martial arts had its eyes fixed on the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, for the monumental event that was UFC 317 on June 28, 2025. This was a card that promised fireworks from the very beginning, and it delivered on every single level. From the early prelims to the championship main event, every fighter who stepped into that octagon was looking to make a statement, and many of them succeeded in spectacular fashion. The energy in the arena was absolutely electric, a tangible force that you could feel buzzing through the crowd with every walkout, every strike thrown, and every roar of victory. This was more than just another fight night, it was a showcase of heart, skill, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. The anticipation for this event had been building for months, with two massive title fights headlining a stacked card. The main event featured a clash for the vacant lightweight throne between the undefeated featherweight champion, Ilia Topuria, and the beloved former champion, Charles Oliveira. This was a legacy-defining fight for both men, a true collision of an unstoppable force meeting a seemingly immovable object. The co-main event saw the dominant flyweight king, Alexander Pantoja, defend his belt against the always dangerous Kai Kara France. The entire card was filled with compelling matchups, featuring established veterans, rising contenders, and hungry prospects all aiming to climb the ranks and etch their names into the history books. When you have a card this deep, you know you are in for a special evening. The atmosphere in Las Vegas was palpable all week long, with fans from all over the world descending upon the city to witness the action live. From the press conferences to the ceremonial weigh-ins, the tension and excitement were building with each passing day. Every fight had a story, every athlete had a dream, and the stage was set for them to chase it under the brightest lights in the sport. We were promised a night of unforgettable moments, and that is precisely what UFC 317 gave us, creating memories and storylines that will be discussed for years to come. As the lights dimmed and the first fighters made their walk, you just knew this was going to be one for the ages. The prelims set an incredible pace with some of the fastest and most brutal finishes you will ever see, perfectly setting the stage for the main card. The main card itself was a non-stop thrill ride, with decisions that went the distance in grueling wars and finishes that left the crowd in awe. It was a night that highlighted everything we love about this sport: the technical brilliance, the raw power, the unwavering courage, and the sheer unpredictability of what can happen when two world-class athletes step into the octagon to compete. The main event of UFC 317 was the moment everyone had been waiting for: Ilia Topuria versus Charles do Bronx Oliveira for the vacant UFC lightweight championship. The stakes could not have been higher. For Topuria, it was a chance to achieve something truly legendary, to become a two-division champion while maintaining his perfect, undefeated record. For Oliveira, it was an opportunity to reclaim the title he once held, to prove that he was still the best lightweight on the planet, and to add another chapter to his incredible comeback story. The walkouts alone were a spectacle, with Oliveira's passionate Brazilian fan base making their presence known, and Topuria's supporters waving the flags of Georgia and Spain with immense pride. From the moment the bell rang for round one, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Both fighters met in the center of the octagon, showing respect but also an intense focus. Oliveira, known for his aggressive and versatile attack, looked to establish his range with his long kicks and sharp Muay Thai. Topuria, however, was a picture of calm and composure. He moved with a measured confidence, his eyes locked on his opponent, looking for the perfect opening. He was patient, stalking Oliveira and cutting off the cage, refusing to be drawn into a wild exchange where Oliveira often thrives. It was a high-level chess match from the very first second. The fight was a masterclass in pressure and precision from Ilia Topuria. He walked Oliveira down, using feints and subtle movements to control the pace and distance. Charles threw some powerful kicks to the body and legs, trying to slow Topuria down, but El Matador was relentless. He seemed completely unfazed by Oliveira's offense, absorbing the strikes and continuing to march forward. Topuria's boxing looked incredibly sharp, as he slipped Oliveira's punches and began to find a home for his own powerful combinations. You could see his confidence growing with every exchange, as he started to read Oliveira's timing and anticipate his movements with uncanny accuracy. The decisive moment came just past the 2-minute mark of the very first round. Topuria, having backed Oliveira towards the fence, unleashed a devastating sequence. He threw a lightning-fast right hand that snapped Oliveira's head back, followed immediately by a thunderous left hook that connected flush on the jaw. Oliveira crumbled to the canvas, and the fight was over in an instant. The referee jumped in immediately to stop the contest at 2 minutes and 27 seconds of round one. The T-Mobile Arena erupted as Ilia Topuria, with a single, perfectly executed combination, had knocked out one of the most durable and dangerous fighters in the division to become the new UFC lightweight champion. With that spectacular knockout, Ilia Topuria didn't just win a title, he etched his name into the annals of UFC history forever. By capturing the lightweight belt, he became only the 10th fighter in the history of the promotion to hold championships in 2 different weight classes simultaneously. This is an exclusive club reserved for the absolute legends of the sport, a list that includes names like Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, and Amanda Nunes. To accomplish this feat while remaining undefeated, with a perfect professional record of 17-0, elevates his achievement to an even more rarefied level. It was a truly historic moment that cemented his status as one of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the entire planet. The victory was a testament to Topuria's incredible skill set, his unwavering self-belief, and his meticulous preparation. Throughout the build-up to the fight, he spoke with a supreme confidence that many mistook for arrogance. He predicted a first-round knockout, and he delivered on that promise in the most emphatic way possible. His performance was a showcase of his elite boxing, his powerful striking, and his high fight IQ. He never looked overwhelmed or out of place against a former champion and one of the most experienced fighters in the division. Instead, he looked like he belonged there, like it was his destiny to have that lightweight belt wrapped around his waist. For Charles Oliveira, it was a heartbreaking defeat. This was his first time being knocked out cold since his fight against Paul Felder back in 2017, a testament to his renowned durability. Oliveira is a fighter who has built a career on overcoming adversity, a man who holds the records for the most finishes and most submissions in UFC history. He has always been known for his resilience and his ability to come back from the brink of defeat. To see him lose in such a definitive manner was a shocking moment for many fans and a clear signal that a new era had dawned in the lightweight division under the reign of Ilia Topuria. The post-fight celebration in the octagon was a beautiful and emotional scene. As Topuria had the second belt draped over his shoulder, his wife and young child joined him inside the cage to share in the historic moment. The image of the undefeated two-division champion holding his child with two golden belts gleaming under the arena lights was an unforgettable one. For his incredible performance, Topuria was also awarded a well-deserved Performance of the Night bonus of £37,500, capping off a perfect night where he not only achieved his dream, but also solidified his legacy as one of the greats of his generation. In the moments following his stunning victory, Ilia Topuria wasted no time in setting his sights on his next potential challenge. With the microphone in his hand and the world watching, he immediately called out a fighter who had been exchanging words with him for months, Paddy "the Batty" Pimblett. Pimblett, who was sitting cage-side, eagerly answered the call, climbing over the barricade and stepping into the octagon to confront the newly crowned two-division champion. The crowd roared as the two fighters came face to face, creating a scene of intense and immediate drama that promised a future blockbuster fight. It was a savvy move by Topuria, using his championship moment to build hype for another massive event. The confrontation quickly escalated from a simple call-out to a heated shoving match. Topuria and Pimblett exchanged a flurry of intense words, their faces inches apart, with security and officials rushing in to separate them. Topuria shoved Pimblett backward before they were pulled apart, making it clear that the animosity between them was very real. In his post-fight interview, Topuria didn't mince words, stating, "With Paddy, I'm really going to enjoy kicking his A." The encounter electrified the arena and set the MMA world abuzz with speculation about a potential superfight between the Spanish-Georgian champion and the charismatic star from Liverpool. While the drama between Topuria and Pimblett captured the headlines, the reality of the lightweight division's title picture is a bit more complex. UFC President Dana White, while likely enjoying the spectacle, was quick to temper expectations in the post-fight press conference. He clarified that despite the exciting in-cage confrontation, Paddy Pimblett is not the next in line for a shot at Ilia Topuria's lightweight title. The promotion has its eyes on a more deserving contender who has been patiently waiting for his opportunity, a fighter who represents a serious threat to Topuria's reign and his undefeated record. That rightful top contender is widely considered to be Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan has been on an incredible run, defeating top-ranked opponents and establishing himself as the clear #1 contender in the division. A fight between Topuria and Tsarukyan would be a fascinating clash of styles, pitting Topuria's elite boxing and knockout power against Tsarukyan's world-class wrestling and relentless grappling pressure. While a fight with Pimblett would undoubtedly be a massive commercial success, a title defense against Tsarukyan is the fight that makes the most sense from a sporting perspective, and the one that will truly test Topuria's claim as the undisputed king of the 155-pound division. In the co-main event of the evening, the UFC Flyweight Championship was on the line as the dominant champion, Alexander Pantoja, took on the formidable challenger from New Zealand, Kai Don't Blink Kara France. This was a highly anticipated matchup between two of the division's best. Pantoja was looking to make his fourth consecutive title defense and continue his reign of terror over the 125-pound weight class. Kara France, known for his crisp striking and knockout power, was determined to finally capture UFC gold and bring the belt back home to City Kickboxing. The stage was set for a classic striker versus grappler showdown. From the opening bell, Alexander Pantoja made his game plan crystal clear. He was going to take the fight to the ground. He relentlessly pursued takedowns, closing the distance on Kara France and using his incredible strength to drag the fight into his world. While Kara France showed improved takedown defense, Pantoja's pressure was simply overwhelming. He was like a shark that smelled blood in the water, constantly chaining his wrestling attempts together and giving Kara France no room to breathe or set up his dangerous striking. Pantoja's pace was suffocating, and he quickly began to impose his will on the challenger, controlling the location and the tempo of the fight. Pantoja's grappling was on a completely different level. Throughout the fight, he secured a total of 4 takedowns and accumulated over 11 minutes of dominant control time. Once the fight hit the mat, he was masterful, transitioning smoothly between positions, threatening with submissions, and landing effective ground and pound. Kara-France fought valiantly, scrambling to get back to his feet and defending well, but Pantoja was always one step ahead. It was a suffocating performance that showcased why Pantoja is considered one of the best grapplers in the entire UFC regardless of weight class. He completely neutralized Kara-France's primary weapons and turned the fight into a grappling clinic. The end came in the 3rd round. After securing another takedown, Pantoja expertly transitioned to Kara-France's back. He quickly locked in a body triangle to control Kara-France's posture and began hunting for the finish. With relentless pressure, he snaked his arm under the chin and locked in a tight rear naked choke. Kara-France had no choice but to tap out, forcing the referee to stop the fight at the 1 minute and 55-second mark of round 3. It was another signature victory for Alexandre Pantoja, who once again proved that he is the undisputed king of the flyweight division with a dominant and decisive submission victory. The main card of UFC 317 was filled with incredible action from top to bottom, delivering memorable moments long before the championship bouts began. One of the standout contests of the entire night was the flyweight clash between Joshua Van and the former title challenger Brandon Royval. This fight was an absolute war for 3 full rounds and was rightfully awarded the Fight of the Night bonus. Both men left everything they had inside the octagon, engaging in wild scrambles, high-paced striking exchanges and back-and-forth action that had the crowd on its feet. It was a phenomenal display of skill, durability and heart from both athletes. Ultimately, it was Joshua Van who emerged victorious, earning a hard-fought, unanimous decision victory. This was a massive win for Van, propelling him into the top tier of the flyweight division by defeating a highly respected and dangerous opponent like Royval. The fight was a whirlwind of activity, with both fighters having moments of success. Royval pushed a frantic pace with his unorthodox attacks and submission attempts, while Van stayed composed, landed the cleaner, more powerful strikes, and showcased his impressive all-around game. It was a star-making performance for Joshua Van, and a fight that fans will be talking about for a long time. Another significant bout on the main card featured a lightweight contest between 2 seasoned veterans, Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. This was a crucial fight for both men, as they looked to get back into the win column and re-establish their position in the Shark Tank that is the 155-pound division. The fight was a tactical affair, with Dariush utilizing his powerful wrestling and top control to neutralize Moicano's slick jiu-jitsu and striking. Over 3 rounds, Dariush consistently secured takedowns and controlled the action on the ground, grinding out a clear unanimous decision victory and reminding everyone why he has been a top contender for so long. The main card kicked off with an exciting bantamweight matchup between 2 rising prospects, the undefeated Peyton Talbot and the tough Felipe Lima. Talbot continued his impressive ascent through the ranks with another polished performance. He used his sharp boxing, crisp combinations, and excellent footwork to outstrike Lima over the course of 3 rounds. While Lima showed incredible toughness and had his moments, Talbot's technical superiority was the deciding factor. He earned a unanimous decision victory, keeping his perfect record intact and proving that he is a name to watch in the stacked bantamweight division. His composure and skill set suggest a very bright future ahead. The preliminary card of UFC 317 set an incredibly high bar for the rest of the night, featuring some of the most spectacular and violent finishes of the entire event. One of the most impressive performances came from middleweight powerhouse Gregory "RoboCop" Rodriguez. Facing off against the highly respected veteran Jack Hermansson, Rodriguez delivered a statement-making performance that put the entire 185-pound division on notice. While Hermansson is known for his durability and well-rounded skills, he had no answer for the sheer power that Rodriguez brought into the octagon. The fight was a short and brutal affair that ended in stunning fashion. In the final minute of the first round, Rodriguez connected with a massive punch that sent Hermansson crashing to the canvas. RoboCop didn't hesitate, swarming his opponent with follow-up shots to secure the knockout victory at 4 minutes and 21 seconds of round 1. It was a huge win for Rodriguez, arguably the biggest of his career, as he defeated a perennial top 15 contender in devastating fashion. This kind of performance is exactly what a fighter needs to break into the upper echelon of a tough division, and Rodriguez proved that he has the fight-ending power to be a serious problem for anyone at middleweight. If Rodriguez's knockout was impressive, the finish from Jose Delgado was simply breathtaking. Competing on the early prelims, Delgado delivered a highlight reel moment that will be played for years to come. In his fight against Hyder Emil, Delgado wasted absolutely no time. Just seconds into the first round, he launched himself through the air and connected with a perfectly timed flying knee that landed flush on Emil's chin. The impact was immediate and devastating, knocking Emil out cold before he even hit the mat. The official time of the knockout was a mere 26 seconds into the first round, earning it the distinction of the fastest finish of the night. Another fighter who made quick work of his opponent on the prelims was the always exciting Terrence T-Rex McKinney. Known for his first-round-or-bust approach, McKinney lived up to his reputation in his lightweight bout against Vyacheslav Borshchev. As soon as the fight began, McKinney shot in for a takedown and immediately locked up his opponent's neck. He expertly cinched in a tight guillotine choke, leaving Borshchev with no option but to tap out. The official time of the submission was just 55 seconds into the first round. These explosive finishes from Rodriguez, Delgado, and McKinney provided a perfect, action-packed start to UFC 317. Following the incredible events of UFC 317, the landscape of the UFC's championship picture has been dramatically altered. The biggest news, of course, is that Ilia Topuria now reigns supreme over two divisions. He holds the UFC Featherweight Championship and has now added the vacant UFC Lightweight Championship to his collection, solidifying his status as a superstar. In the co-main event, Alexander Pantoja continued his dominant run, successfully defending his UFC Flyweight Championship for the fourth time. These two champions stood tall at the end of the night, showcasing their elite skills and proving why they are the best in the world in their respective weight classes. With his historic victory, the biggest question now surrounds Ilia Topuria's next move. While the in-cage confrontation with Paddy Pimblett was certainly entertaining and has fans excited, the most logical and deserving next opponent for the lightweight title is Arman Tsarukyan. Tsarukyan has fought his way to the top of the rankings and presents a stylistic challenge that would be a true test of Topuria's championship credentials. A fight between Topuria and Tsarukyan would be a dream matchup for hardcore fans, pitting an elite striker against an elite grappler for the 155-pound crown. This is the fight that needs to happen to establish the true hierarchy of the division. The future for the flyweight champion, Alexander Pantoja, is also full of interesting possibilities. Having now defeated many of the top contenders in the division, he could be looking at a fresh challenger. The fight of the night winner, Joshua Van, put himself on the map with his victory over Brandon Royval, and could be a few more wins away from a title shot. Other contenders will also be looking to make their case, but Pantoja has looked so dominant that it will take a truly special performance from a challenger to dethrone the king. He continues to clean out the division with each impressive title defense. As for Topuria's other belt, the featherweight title, its future remains uncertain. Holding two belts is an incredibly difficult task, and eventually, Topuria will have to decide which division to focus on, or if he will attempt to defend both. Top contenders at 145 pounds like Brian Ortega and Movsar Evloev are eagerly waiting for their opportunity. For now, however, the focus remains on Topuria's incredible accomplishment at UFC 317. He has proven himself to be a generational talent, and whether his next fight is against Tsarukyan, Pimblett, or a featherweight contender, it is guaranteed to be a massive event that will have the entire MMA world watching. What a night it was at UFC 317. From the explosive preliminary bouts to the historic two-title championship main event, this was an evening packed with unforgettable moments. For anyone who missed the live action, or for those who simply want to relive the incredible finishes and epic battles, there are plenty of ways to catch up on everything that happened. The UFC and its broadcast partners make it easy to access the highlights and full replays, so you don't have to miss a single second of the drama, the knockouts, and the submissions that define this spectacular event. It's definitely a card worth watching again and again. If you want to watch the entire event from start to finish, the full replay of the UFC 317 main card, including Ilia Topuria's historic knockout of Charles Oliveira, is available for purchase on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. This is the best way to experience the event as it happened, with the full broadcast presentation. For those who want to see the action-packed preliminary card, which featured the incredible finishes from Gregory Rodriguez, Jose Delgado and Terrence McKinney, those fights are available to stream on the UFC's own digital platform, UFC Fight Pass. This service is a must-have for any hardcore MMA fan. For fans who are just looking for the key moments and highlights, the UFC's official YouTube channel is an excellent resource. They quickly upload post-fight interviews, highlights of the biggest knockouts and submissions, and clips from the post-fight press conference. You can also find extensive coverage, analysis, and highlight packages on the ESPN MMA YouTube channel and other sports news websites. These platforms are perfect for catching up on the most significant action if you don't have time to watch the entire event. They provide a great summary of why the night was so special and memorable. In conclusion, UFC 317 delivered on all its promises and then some. It was a night of historic achievements, shocking upsets, and intense drama that will be remembered for years to come. We witnessed the crowning of a new two-division champion in Ilia Topuria, a dominant title defense from Alexandra Pantoja, and a collection of highlight reel finishes that left us all breathless. This event was a perfect showcase of everything that makes mixed martial arts the most exciting sport in the world. It had everything a fan could ask for, and it has set the stage for some massive fights to come in the near future.